Jessica's 2025 win was supposed to be a triumph. So why is it being called the biggest scandal in reality TV history in 2026? Tonight, we go inside the controversy that has turned the world's biggest stage into a battleground for what some are calling the death of the amateur. The 2025 finale of America's Got Talent ended with a confetti shower for Jessica. But as we move through 2026, that celebration has been replaced by a rigorous national debate. At the heart of the issue is a fundamental question of fairness. Should an artist who has already stood on the world's most prestigious stages be allowed to compete against a busker from the subway? As our investigative team looks back at the 2025 season data, the professional level advantage brought to the competition was statistically overwhelming. Having already secured a runner-up finish on American Idol over a decade ago, she entered the arena with millions of followers and a decade of elite vocal coaching, a luxury her competitors simply didn't have. In the industry, we call this leveling the playing field, but critics argue that in this case, the field was tilted from day one. Fans across the United States have taken to social forums to vent their frustrations, claiming that the talent in the show's title was overshadowed by experience. The narrative surfacing in 2026 suggests that viewers are starting to feel gaslit by the production's insistence that this was an underdog story. While her talent is undeniable, accusations surfaced that her inclusion was a tactical move by the network to ensure a ratings-guaranteed winner. This has led to a massive shift in how the audience views reality TV, with many calling for a two-tier system to prevent seasoned veterans from dominating amateur acts. But the controversy over her professional status was only the tip of the iceberg, as a protected path began to leak from the studio. Is it a coincidence, or is it a calculated masterpiece? New reports suggest that the 2025 season might have been cleared for a specific winner before the first audition even aired. As we look back through the lens of 2026, the structural anomalies of the 2025 season are becoming impossible to ignore. Several insider leaks have pointed toward a specific production strategy that allegedly prioritized Jessica's screen time and narrative over every other contestant. In the world of reality TV, the edit is everything, and the 2025 edit was nothing short of a cinematic masterpiece. From the strategically placed emotional packages to the high-budget lighting setups that other acts seemingly lacked, the production value suggested a predetermined outcome. We've spoken to industry analysts who believe that the network, facing a dip in viewership, needed a superstar moment to remain relevant. To achieve this, they may have paved the way that any act that could realistically challenge her was placed in difficult time slots or given less song choices. This curated journey has led to a significant backlash, with longtime viewers claiming they were manipulated into following a script rather than a competition. The term industry plant has been thrown around loosely, but in this case, the evidence of preferential treatment is backed by a noticeable disparity in social media promotion. While the show maintains its integrity, the 2026 consensus is leaning toward a darker truth, that the people's choice might have been guided by a corporate hand that knew exactly who they wanted holding the trophy at the end of the night. What if the $1 million prize was just the chump change in a much larger secret financial arrangement that spans the 2026 calendar? The most explosive currently circulating involves a clandestine partnership between Jessica and the show's biggest media empire. Our reporting indicates that the 2025 win served as a high-budget pilot for a massive 2026 rebranding effort. There are whispers that a letter of intent was signed months before the premiere, effectively linking to a new high-stakes development deal. If these reports are accurate, the 2025 season wasn't a contest. It was a launchpad designed to rebuild a global brand using the network's airtime. Critics are calling this a conflict of interest of the highest order. How can a judge remain impartial when they have a multi-million-dollar interest in the contestant winning? The optics are certainly, especially as we see her 2026 tour dates being announced in partnership with companies closely linked to the show's producers. This vertical integration of a reality TV winner is nothing new, but the scale of the deal is unprecedented. It suggests a future where the show acts as a feeder system for a specific label, rather than a discovery platform for the nation. This 2026 fallout has led to calls for an independent audit of the judging process, as fans demand to know if their votes actually carried any weight against a pre-signed corporate contract. The shocking reality may be that the winner was decided in a boardroom long before the first note was ever sung on live television. In a show titled America's Got Talent, some are asking why the votes seem to be coming from a global network that didn't follow the rules. Digital forensic reports from late 2025, which are only now coming to light, have sparked a national security-style panic among reality TV purists. The data reveals massive, unexplained surges in voting traffic during the finale that didn't originate within the borders of the United States. Given Jessica's status as a global icon, accusations have surfaced that organized voting blocks and automation scripts were used to flood the system. While having a global isn't a crime, the integrity of the vote is the foundation of the show. In 2026, tech analysts are pointing to suspicious clusters that suggest the win was bolstered by a digital campaign that bypassed geographic restrictions. This has ignited a fierce debate among US viewers who feel their local were cheated by a global machine. The show's producers have remained tight-lipped, but the digital footprint tells a story of a win that was achieved through technological warfare rather than just a phone call. This has forced the franchise to reconsider its voting protocols, implementing stricter verification barriers for future seasons. The scandal has tarnished the win, leaving Jessica in a position where she has to constantly defend the legitimacy of her title. It raises the uncomfortable question: in an interconnected world, can a national talent show ever truly be fair again? Behind the glitz and the trophies lies a story of an artist who was reportedly pushed to the brink of a total breakdown just to stay in the game. In a series of exclusive 2026 interviews, Jessica has finally begun to expose the reality of her comeback journey. Far from the privileged pro-image her critics painted, the truth is much darker. She has spoken openly about the internal struggles and the pressure of being a perfectionist in a system that was waiting for her to fail. According to our sources, the 2025 season was actually a final attempt to save her career after years of being sidelined by major industry players. She has hinted at a time when she her old ego just to find the strength to audition again, describing the process as psychologically grueling. To stay within broadcast standards, we can report that her wellness journey was a central part of her preparation. This vulnerability is starting to win over some of her detractors as they realize the mental fortitude required to step back into the spotlight after being tossed aside by Hollywood a decade ago. The narrative is shifting from a win to resilient survival. She is being viewed by many as a champion for the overlooked, proving that even a burnt-out star can reignite their flame. However, this confessional style of marketing has also been met with some calling it a calculated PR move to soften her image. Regardless of the intent, the raw side of Jessica is the one that is currently dominating the headlines, proving that the woman behind the voice is just as complex as the controversy itself. The stage is dark, the confetti has been swept away, but the toxic debate over the 2025 win is only getting louder as we look toward the future. We are now seeing the long-term effects of the victory on the 2026 entertainment landscape. Industry experts are noting a chilling effect on new, amateur talent who are now terrified of entering competitions that feel like they are reserved for the elite. The brand damage to the franchise is significant. Internal memos suggest that the applicant pool for upcoming seasons is down by a massive percentage. Public trust has been shaken, and the show is in a desperate scramble to prove that it hasn't become a retirement home for former stars. For Jessica herself, the results are mixed. While her touring revenue is at an all-time high, her credibility among serious music critics remains under fire. She is caught in a vicious cycle of having to overdeliver on every performance just to justify her win. The 2026 verdict is that while she may have won the battle of 2025, the war for the public's heart is far from over. This polarizing legacy is the new reality of fame in the digital age. As the show prepares for its next season, The shadow of the 2025 debate looms large, serving as a cautionary tale for producers who try to balance ratings with reality. The debate over the 2025 win of Jessica isn't just about a trophy, it's about the evolution of what we value in an entertainer. In 2026, we are forced to ask if we want perfection or potential. Jessica provided the vocal masterclass that the network needed for a ratings boost, but it came at the cost of the innocence that made the show a household staple. Whether you view her as a rightful queen or a corporate tool, her victory has left a permanent mark on the industry. As she moves forward into her 2026 tour, the echoes of the controversy will be her constant companion. In the end, the only vote that truly matters is the one the public makes with their attention. And right now, all eyes are still on her. The final chapter of this story hasn't been written yet, but the 2026 prologue is already one for the history books.